my six, stand up. Neck on the beat. Let go. With them fly ass chicks who paint them pretty ass lips. With them trap boys out doubling up on bricks. For musicians like myself that was blessed with a gift. Rap with a package, see what it is. Swerving through traffic like I lost control of the whip. Hurt the competition like I ran over these bricks. Double lines mean nothing when you're hugging the bridge. Red light, green light, headlight, beat bright. Superstar life make these lanes hate right. Fabulous flow make the girls sing nice. So rock cups full to the party break light. The cross keys going, see the cab in sight. On to the next like Jay said, right? Yeah, swag too slick, make a hater wanna bite. Not out of Zella, boy, put your blick to my life. With a mind Lawrence like boy, nothing to lose. And an armful on the mic, hit the beats me bruised. The cat look calm like I never made a move. Back on the beat, knock the hammer in his seat. These boys all brittle, dried up fragile. I never move triple cause I got 2 feet. Provided my own meals, boy, nobody fed me. The grind is impeccable, I've been chasing decimals. Now it's like me and the money is inseparable. Catch the message that I'm sending to you. Anything's possible if you put your mind to it. I've been through it, but I've been spewed it. Now I feel like a champ, bitch, I'm undisputed. Thought I conquered the whole game, the hustle never been lame. But pretty soon you fucks don't remember my name.
What's up, everybody? It's Talk Your Ish Tuesday. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Got another show, another hot one for you, another heated show. Sharon, talk to the people.
Yeah, let me start out by saying we miss you, Dennis, the Ignorant Thinker podcast. Holmes himself, he's out traveling. He got us started on our show tonight. We just wish him safe travels. But we got the host with the most, Ron Flying High Podcast.
What's up?
What's going on, Ron? What you got to say?
We miss Dennis and thank you to the fans. We got a hot show tonight.
Oh, yeah, it's blazing. Oh, yeah, hot like fish grease. Let me tell y'all, y'all don't know what we go through when we get in the Zoom before the show. But we have some discussions before the show. Isn't that right? We got sports guru, Mr. Damon Hargrove, and we got King Czar. What you got to say, Mr. Hargrove?
Well, I just want to say hello to the people. And yes, the discussions are a little hot and a little bothered. And I apologize to King Czar. I shouldn't have been that vociferous to him.
Oh, man, nah. You don't never got to apologize, man. It's all passion. Keep it going.
Well, no, I sometimes you hear yourself and you think back and you may have used a word that you didn't like, and I'm never too big that I can't apologize to you, my brother. That's why I think this show works, because we all have that respect, even though sometimes I think you off your goddamn rocker. But thank you.
Oh yeah, indeed. Likewise.
And that's from one LeBron lover to one LeBron hater, and one Jordan lover to one Jordan hater.
Right. You got that right. That's for sure.
All right, King Czar, what you got to say?
Again, welcome. You know, we had a nice festivities over the weekend, which, with the Stay Tuned podcast. Shout out to Josh and, the boys over there.
Stay tuned.
Right. And, we got footage from that later on. But, I was able to meet Dennis in person. That's my guy. Dennis is a great man. We already knew that. But, it was good meeting him, in person. I got to meet most of the other guys. Hopefully one day we can all, have some type of, ground where we can all meet. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm looking forward to another great show.
All right. And yep, I want to say, safe travels to Mr. Holmes. We're going to do this thing without our fearless leader. Hope we do him proud. So should we start with the questions, y'all? What y'all think? Y'all want to go with the questions first, or should we start with our wonderful topics that we have laid out for us? What y'all think we should do?
Let's go with the topics.
Let's go with
okay. All right, hold up 1 second. Hold on.
So I got them right here. So
I got my computer moving a little slow.
Yeah, no, don't worry. That's why we carry each other. We here. We doing it.
That's right. Go ahead, Czar. We're
gonna start with Guru's favorite team. His favorite. Can KD carry the Brooklyn Nets if he has to run this team without his two comrades?
Well, that's easy. Guru. Well, that's easy. No, and we'll find that out tonight in what it's 8 o'clock. So I think 8:30 start. So we'll see. KD do a lot of talking, and KD, a lot of people like to put him on this pedestal that he's already all-time, greatest scorers, and he don't have the numbers to do it because he hasn't played long enough. But this is one of those nights. This is the price of admission. I went to a lot of games when I was younger. I lived at Madison Square Garden. But now with my knees and everything and a few health issues, I don't really love traveling too much. But I'll tell you, tonight, if I could have got some good seats, I might have showed up in old Brooklyn. But so tonight we'll see what he can do. Now I heard Harden might give it a go. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, because I noticed a lot of times when these athletes go, when they're compromised, people say, well, you can't do this. I remember Patrick Ewing tearing his Achilles. Obviously, we remember what happened to Durant 2 years ago. We seen what happened to Clay. Lo and behold, every time these athletes try to go with one ailment, it seems like they do something devastating to something else. And if Harden goes tonight, I don't like him. I nickname him Rerun, but I don't want to see the guy tear his ACL. I really don't want to see that. And if he's not right, he shouldn't go out there. This is Durant's, as Stephen A would say, this is Durant's town. This is Durant's game. Let's see what KD can do. Stop fighting people on Twitter. Fight my man from Milwaukee who's been giving them all sorts of trouble, Mr. Tucker. And I'm not talking about Robin Tucker from Metro North Railroad, the first black conductor ever in the history of the railroad. I'm talking about the Tucker on Milwaukee via Houston. That's the Tucker I'm talking about. So let's see. I got an unequivocal no. He's not going to do it. That's the David, baby.
You don't like KD very much, do you?
No, I don't. No, I think if you got millions, you shouldn't be trying to steal these little, just average dudes, women, and then always make yourself look stupid, man. I can't get with that, man. I just can't. It's just unfathomable. And then I posted something about a Harden doing the same thing, man. Paying for, oh man, it's just, these guys are laughable, man. They're
paying for it. For it. Ron,
we all pay for it, but damn, you ain't got to be so, so obsolete about it.
Crazy. Ron, Ron giving us the eye. What you think about it, Ron? Can KD carry them Nets?
No. I think Milwaukee finally showed up. They finally look like a team. They finally maybe to beat Brooklyn Nets. Mm-hmm. They finally coming together as one. Mm-hmm. And not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They playing as a team now. So maybe this might be their year to get over the hump.
Got you. Got you. What you think, Czar?
Well, one, I mean, so if it's that year to get over the hump because another team gets injured, I wouldn't call that their year. But then again, you do need, and we were talking about that over the weekend, even in the NFL, in any sport, sometimes you need luck or you need the ball to bounce this way or a particular player to get injured to help it be part of your year. So in a sense, you know, Milwaukee were disappointed the last 2 years, and the Greek Freak probably has the most pressure this year, especially coming off 2 MVPs. So I agree with that. However, I think Harden is playing tonight. I think I just looked it up and it said he is returning. I'm sticking with my pick. I have Brooklyn. If Harden plays, you know, we saw the AD. You talked about that, Sharon, last week. I don't think they're letting him play if he feels great. You know, it ain't gonna be no. At least I'm knocking on wood. It ain't gonna be no. You know, he gonna get hurt in the first quarter, and now we got this all over again. Like, what the hell were they thinking? So I'm hoping, you know, for the best. But no, I'm still rolling with Brooklyn. But the original question is, can he do it by himself? And I love KD. He's the best player in the league. But no, if those two guys don't play, they won't win the championship. I will say that. He needs one of them, at least one of them. He don't necessarily need both. Yeah. Both is unfair, but he needs one of them. He needs one.
Yeah, I have to say that I agree. He definitely needs one of them. You said that you heard that Harden is definitely playing tonight.
He said he's returning tonight when I just looked.
Okay. Yeah. And see, and again, if he's been cleared to play, I hope he's really able to play. And again, like you said, like you mentioned, not the same AD type of thing, because that was just terrible to do to AD, in my opinion. I still hold that opinion. And everybody in here knows I'm not a fan of James Harden. But one thing I never wish on a player is I never wish injury or further injury or any of that. I'm not going to ever wish that on him, but I'm not a fan. So if they do lose to Milwaukee, I would lose absolutely no sleep because I'm not a fan of his. It would hurt because I like KD. I like what's his name? I forgot his name. Kyrie, yeah. I get him and Kawhi. Those K's get me all the time. But I like Kyrie okay. I'm not a big humping fan of his, but I don't hate him. But I really love Kevin Durant and want to see him get a chip with Brooklyn. But if this is not their year, I'm good with it. But can he do it? I don't think that he can do it alone without at least a great player. They don't have to be at least a superstar, but he needs one or two other great players if he's not going to have his two superstars. And I'm not so sure that he has that. So I'm kind of favoring Milwaukee now just because of the injuries. So that's where I'm at. What's next, Czar?
All right. So could this be, listen, this is Michelle's team. We went from Guru's team to Sharon's favorite. Could this be Kawhi and playoff P in the Clippers year? Kick it off,
Hell no. Hell no. It is, I'm going first on this. Hell no. It is never the Clippers year. I don't care if it's 2021, 22, 24, 27. I don't care what the year is. It's never the Clippers year. I don't care who plays for them. It's never the Clippers year. They need to move the team. I've been saying this. Take your ass to Seattle or something. They need a team. But ain't no other team worth anything in LA but the Lakers, so they need to leave. So no, it's not their year. No. Next.
Ryan? What you got, Ryan?
They got a chance.
Man, shut up. No, they don't.
Hear me out.
Ain't got no chance.
Explain, sir.
Paul George finally showed up.
Yes, sir.
He been showing up in this series, And we've been asking for it, when he going to show up. Now, can he keep on playing like this? We don't know. But they do got a 50-50 chance to do something.
50-50.
It's a huge difference.
No, they got 30%.
All right, what you got? What you got, Guru? Talk to him about them clips.
Well, it made me think, I guess the question, some guy said I was negative on one of my posts. And so if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck and not a bleeping mongoose. I don't like Pandemic P, and I don't like Kawhi. I don't know if it's my Laker or my LeBron, love affair or what, but I don't like them guys. I don't believe in those guys. I do think Kawhi has played really great. Now, Pandemic P has had 2 good games, but somebody on an earlier show that I was listening to said he's got to do it on the road. He's got to do it in Utah. And usually in a big moment, he usually does that side of the backboard trick that, it don't usually go in from that angle from last time I checked. So I'm thinking that I could almost see them. They could beat Utah. Utah is not invincible. I've heard a lot of people say that Utah is the best team and they got all this shooting and all that. I'm a little bit. I don't subscribe to that theory. I think Utah is definitely beatable. I do like the way Donovan Mitchell's playing. He's playing outstanding basketball. I don't think he gets players involved enough. I think that's the one thing, and obviously he's from the area that I live in out here in Greenburgh. He actually grew up in Elmsford and then, went to school, I guess, in Connecticut. So I never really heard of him because I'm a Brooklyn guy, so I moved out here late. But people out here love him. They adore him. And as, whenever you have a homegrown guy, the neighborhood, especially a small neighborhood like this, is going to, just be in love with him. And they're not going to be able to see him do any wrong. And obviously there was a big controversy with Shaq this year, where Shaq was basically alluding to the fact that he wasn't a superstar and that he hadn't really done anything in terms of statistics, in terms of, 10 assists and a lot of points and rebounds. And to that point, I guess he didn't. But now he's really showing the offensive side, but he's got to do a little bit better job of playmaking. He is a guard, the great Isaiah Thomas. And that's why, like, when I hear about this top 5 point guards, I can't even put like a guy like Chris Paul in there yet, because Chris Paul just has not had enough big moments in a big spot to elevate itself to that status. And as you heard earlier this week, I think it was Stephen A. Smith said that, Donovan Mitchell was the best, Utah Jazz player ever. You know what? Do something first, man. Get them to a finals. This is exactly the stage that he has to do it on. He's got to get them past the Clippers. Okay, so can they do it? They can. I'm rooting against Pandemic P in them, but that could go either way. That's 50-50. I don't see it being a landslide either way. Probably if I had to lean somewhere, I would go Utah facing Phoenix at this point. And then, I could give you a prediction on that, but I guess we'll just take one step at a time, my man Zar.
So you consider Mitchell a point guard?
No, I don't. But I think that in order to be a great player, like say Dwayne Wade, he's kind of similar in that vein.
That's a good
Dwayne Wade know how to pass the basketball. You got to be able to get people and share the basketball. Even Isaiah, who was a shoot first, all of these guys are shoot first point guards, but they know how to pass. Joe Dumars, the great ones really know how to pass and set up people, even if that's not their number one, thing that they're good at. And to me, he's lacking in that just a little bit. He doesn't have that feel for it. And I think Kenny and them on TNT were arguing that that's not his repertoire. But in order to be a great player, sometimes you got to get out of pocket a little bit. That's all I'm saying. And I got to see a little bit more of that, because guess what? They're going to double team you at times. They're going to take, if you're smart, if you're not dumb like Frank Vogel and you're going to let what's his name just go off and beat the hell out of you and score 50 points or whatever the hell he did, well, but most coaches are going to double team you and take the ball out of your hand. So then what you got, Donovan? What you got?
Right. The only reason I asked, because you mentioned the top 5 PGs. You know what I mean? So that's why I was kind of, if you labeled them that.
No, well, I kind of mixed it up a little bit, but that was my major point, that right. If he's going to get this team to that next level, all the shooting that they talk about, everybody says that Utah's got all this great talent around them. Well, you got to use them. Most of the time I see him good at pull up and taking a three yourself. But you know what? Sometimes you got to get your, people can knock, my man all he wants, but sometimes you got to get other people involved. That's what you got to do, man. If you want to win. That's all I'm saying. If you want to win.
I got it. No, that's a good point. Well, obviously, I have the Clippers beating them. I have Brooklyn winning it all. So, no, I don't think it's the Clippers' year. I mean, when you ask that question, when you say it's somebody's year, that means they're going to win the whole thing. And I don't now. If Brooklyn is decimated or hurt, I do think the second best team are the Clippers. So, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm sticking with Brooklyn, and I think it's Brooklyn's year. So, no, I don't think so. But if they can get Pandemic P or Playoff P, Peanuts P, whatever you want to call them, to play consistently. Right, I'm just saying. I mean, there's so many, Planners P, and we can go further than Peanuts, Planners P, the actual. If he plays consistent and they got that 1-2 a la Jordan Pippen, I don't like comparing that, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean when I say that. If he can consistently put up 25, because he's a great scorer in his own right, they'll be very hard to beat and should easily come out of the West, and then obviously face a loaded Brooklyn team again if healthy. But no, I'm sticking with Brooklyn to take the chip, and so I don't think the Clippers, it won't be their year this year. All right, so that's Clipper. Let me see if there's any comments before we go to the next one. Okay, so we do got a few. All right, so Blaze, Clips going to the chip against Philly, baby. Dennis must like that talk. Anthony White says, as a lifelong Lakers fan, I'm very disappointed, but we just won it last season, so somebody can have it this year. All righty. Sharon, you put the Clippers not winning anything.
No.
So we know how you feel. Trisha says, why does Donovan have to get to a finals? Probably responded to Guru saying, let him do something first, I'm sure.
Western Conference Finals, why not?
I know, I agree with you. But it's a team thing, but he's loaded. They should at least make it there. Trisha says, so Joker just won Dennis Holmes. I guess they got a little in-chat conversation. Trisha said also they gave away these MVPs now. I don't know what that means. MVPs are regular season award, completely different discussion, which we're going to get into next after the comments. Dennis, what up, Dennis? So did Westbrook. Are we going there? So they're having their own little discussion.
Oh, Lord. Lord.
Trisha says, oh, please. So we're just reading their discussion.
Dennis, you know better than bringing that man's name up to Trisha Joy. Please stop.
Let me go skip. Okay, so David said NBA is boring without the Lakers. I disagree.
I agree.
Blaze says,
I disagree. I think the NBA is, of course you'd rather have your favorite team and I just love basketball, man. Right. I just love basketball.
No, I heard that when the Bulls was always winning it. People hated it. That wasn't the Bulls.
I just love basketball too.
I'm with you.
But it ain't as exciting when you don't see that purple and gold suit up. That's all I got to say.
Some people are happy. Some people are happy as hell, right, Zah?
Oh yeah, they are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see.
Haters.
And they're just an ongoing conversation between Dennis and Trisha. So that brings us to right in line with the next question. Why? And again, we'll talk about it. I don't get it, but why is Joker MVP? Whoever wants to start, Ron, you want to kick it off?
No,
I'm gonna let somebody else go first.
I'll go. Since nobody wants to go. Guru always ready to go. Anyway, I should say on myself, go Guru. Anyway, well, I think he really got the MVP because he was the only one that stayed healthy. He was the last man standing. If you want to look at it, there was times when everybody said Embiid was the number one player, and he was. There was times when obviously LeBron was the number one player. He was. And there was even a time when they said rerun. My man Harden, was number one player. And then he got hurt with the hamstring. So he kind of won it by default, to be honest with you. Did he deserve it? In this situation, I thought he did because of the simple fact that nobody else could stay healthy. Did I think he was the best player? No, absolutely not. Did I think he was the real MVP, as Kevin Durant once said when he was crying about his mama? No, I did not. But the bottom line is nobody else could stay healthy, and he showed during the playoffs that he really isn't the MVP. And it seems like anybody who wins this award in the last several years has showed the same thing he showed. So I understand it's a regular season award and that the postseason doesn't count, but it seems like nobody puts their stamp on it. Nobody doubles down on it. And, we could have had somebody double down on it last year, but the haters always gonna hate, right, Zar?
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew it.
I'm gonna say this. I think they should give out the MVP like after the finals.
They do give out a finals MVP.
I mean the
regular season.
He's talking about the league MVP.
Why?
He's talking about the league.
Explain that one.
Because I think we just seen what did your boy do for Denver.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute, Ron. So what you're saying is that the MVP award should include the finals.
Right.
Okay, so you think the award should not just be a regular season. It should be the regular season plus the whole playoffs and everything.
Right.
And then you get one so you get one MVP for the whole season. And then do you also think that there should be just a finals MVP too?
Yeah.
Just in the finals?
Yes.
Okay, that's weird. So
I wouldn't call it weird.
Because if you look at it, wait a minute.
How you gonna have an MVP of everything and then a finals MVP?
Because if you look at it, like sports guru just said, he ain't put no stuff on it. He ain't do nothing. They got blown out. They got flipped.
So should that be for every sport then?
Yes.
Yeah, there are some players. Just in his defense, there are some players that might have had a average regular season, and then they get to the team gets to the finals, and all of a sudden this dude just goes ballistic, and he just has an outstanding finals and gets finals MVP. Right. That's what he's talking about. When you asked him the question, how can you have an overall and then just have a finals MVP? That's how. Because the same person who has been great all year and might have even been great in the playoffs too, might not have been the best player in just the finals. That's what Ron is saying, that it should be a little bit more targeted that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Am I getting this right, Ron?
Right.
I had to soak on that, but you're basically saying taking away from the regular season, so don't have anything for the regular season. Are we talking every award? So like coach of the year, because a coach losing the first round, this coach carries his team to the finals. Are we talking the same thing that as well? Thibodeau won coach of the year. Got knocked out. A lot of people thought Monty should have won. Look what he's doing. So I'm just saying,
Monty should have won that.
So are we applying that same logic?
Yes. Okay. Because look what Phoenix been through. They had not got to this far in 10 years? Or
okay, but okay, I see what you're saying. I disagree respectfully with that. I believe that there should be 3 awards. I believe that there should be a league MVP that covers the regular season. There should be an MVP of the playoffs and an MVP of just the finals, or just the regular season and just the finals. That's it. Those are the 2 options for me, in my opinion. But I do believe that the regular season awards should still be kept. And it's for the reason I just said, because you got players. I'm the type of person that I can judge a player separate from their team. I can also see a player. I can see what they add to the team, what they take away from the team. But every team that's in the playoffs doesn't necessarily have the best players in the league all the time.
Right.
So if you got a player that's just been balling all season like Ja Morant, but they couldn't make it out of the first round. But what about what he did in the regular season to get them there?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But they didn't make it out the first round. So if you're taking the regular season plus the playoffs, and he couldn't make it out of the first round, you would automatically hold him back. So that's the reason why I believe that it should be separated from regular season should be regular season. And those awards need to be kept regular seasons. And then you can have a playoff MVP or a finals MVP in addition to the league MVP.
But they already have that.
That sounds like you said playoff.
They already have it for the finals, but they don't have it for the playoffs. And so what I'm saying, just to address Ron's concern about the playoffs, I would not be opposed to adding a playoff MVP. That's what I'm saying. I would not be opposed to adding that separate from the playoffs, separate from the finals MVP. I wouldn't be opposed to it. It is kind of overlapping. I get it. It's kind of redundant a little bit, but I could see it. And I wouldn't shoot it down. But I definitely believe that there should be a league MVP that's just for the regular season. Player of the year, MVP, coach of the year, rookie of the year, all that stuff should remain the way they are right now.
Right.
In addition, that's how I feel.
Well, for me, in good points, we expanded the question a little bit, but for me, the original question, why Joker is MVP, which I was one of the only ones kind of in our circle, kind of throughout the year, we had these debates. People were bringing up Curry, Chris Paul, Embiid, whatever the case. And I've always said the Joker, and this is the reason why I felt that he still deserved it. Again, we're just talking regular season. As long as the rules are what they are, that's how I'm looking at it. Yep. In the regular season, the MVP traditionally, and I know it doesn't have to always be that way, but traditionally it's the best player on usually one of the best teams. Usually a top 4 seed for the most part. We've seen Westbrook, as I say, we talked about it, the triple-double, yada, yada. So for me, Denver ended up, I think, 4 or 5, wherever they finished. Or 6, I think. Was it 6? Or they played Portland, right? Yeah.
They played Portland.
Right. So he's the second, I think, number 6 seed to win MVP. And I think they were only like a half a game out of 5. But the reason why I think he deserved it is because he was the best player on a team that was competitive and right there in the thick of the West from day one. But when Jamal Murray went down, everyone pretty much gave up on this team, including myself, because I'm a big Jamal Murray fan, and I think he's not better. I even argue with people that think Jamal's the best player on that team. I don't. I think Joker's the best player, but Jamal Murray is a hell of a second. That's a big 2. And when he went down, Joker kept them afloat, and all he has is role players around him. He doesn't have a sidekick outside of Jamal Murray. And I felt, that in the Western Conference, again, Curry, great season, but he, you have to at least, again, be in the thick of it, be somewhere 4, 5, 6, be in the running. You cannot be 10 most of the year to creep your way to 8 or in the playing game and get MVP. It's not a knock on you, but you have to have some success. And for me, the Joker was the most important on a team that was hurt and still had very good success. And everything runs through that man on that team. Everything. He's the point. He's the center. He's a small forward. He's everything on that team. And so I felt in the regular season he deserved it.
Is he a superstar?
Absolutely.
Okay. We've been talking about superstars supposed to show up, right?
Right.
Okay. So if he a superstar, then why he ain't win a game in that series?
No, they beat Portland in the first round. They won.
In the second round.
Right, but okay, well, let's rewind it. So they were the 6th seed playing Portland as a 3 seed.
No, they weren't. They were the 3 seed.
Oh, were they the 3 seed in Portland? Okay, well then, So scratch my Westbrook. Same thing. Usually again, MVP, best player on usually a top 3 seed. For some reason I got them mixed up, but same argument. But my thing is, a lot of people have Portland even winning that series because again, Jamal Murray. You got Lillard, and they don't even have Jamal Murray with their full team to go, and they won that series. To me, I thought that was a big win and supplanted the arguments oh, you know, they lost in the first round, you know, because I thought they were going to lose without Jamal Murray, so that everybody was going to come down on the Joker. But when they won that series, I'm like, they're not going to win another series without Jamal Murray. There's just no way. Right. He's by himself.
But
I don't feel that's the argument against him.
But what I said is, you a superstar, like you just said. The Joker is supposed to show up against.
He showed up. He was there.
But this my thing. Why they cannot win one game?
Hey man,
no, you're Ron. You're right. I mean, I gotta agree with you. Go ahead, Guru. He's gotta. You know, look. I said earlier, he didn't double down on the award. Nobody has really doubled down on the award. Ron reiterated that. But you got to show up and win one game in the second round. It's not like that. It's not the, you know, just because.
That's who?
Well, I mean, that's just our opinion at this point. That I'm just saying, if he's gonna be a real MVP, then he's got to do something, man. The Nuggets got skunked. They're not playing. The Lakers were compromised, and it took them 6 games. Yes, he's got to do better than that. He did, and then he showed his frustration or his lack of leadership or whatever you want to call it by fouling what's his name, and getting thrown out of the game. Game 4.
So who you thought should have won MVP, Guru?
No, I thought he should have won it.
Okay,
but my point, I'm just echoing what Ron said in terms of his questioning, is that, yes, it looks really bad when they can't double down on it, or in his case, where he looks pathetic for not even winning one game in the second round. I can't do nothing about that. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. I'm not saying he's not a great player. He is a great player. Is he a superstar? No, he's not. He's not.
Superstar.
No, he's not a he's not a super duper star. He might be. He's like that would almost be like saying, like, is Kyrie a superstar? No, he's at. And it almost in some instances it's because of the lack of leadership and things like that. Why you don't put certain guys on that pedestal. We're going to find out today in a little while how much Kevin Durant is a superstar, because a lot of people got him anointed already. But if this was LeBron James or this was Jordan or this was Kobe, they're going to get you 50. And LeBron is not even really a natural scorer. He's a natural passer. But in those situations when he played Boston and most of those big-time situations, they came to ball. And I see Harden is out there. You know, I see. I don't know if he hit that shot, but I see he's out there. So there's no excuses, man. I'm sorry.
So real quick before we move on from this, so y'all keep pointing this game, the second round, he didn't win a game. So
I didn't give my answer.
Oh, okay, no, I ain't gonna skip you, Sharon. I ain't gonna skip you.
Go ahead.
So let's go back to where a lot of, again, you might not have had these people, but again, I'm hearing Curry, you know, we're talking Dame Lillard. So now if you're arguing Joker, he didn't show up or they didn't win a game in the second round, then damn, why are we even talking about Steph Curry then?
Right.
Why are we even talking about Dame Lillard?
I never thought he was in
a lot of the public did.
A lot of the media did too. But that don't mean we have to agree with them.
I never thought he was a superstar. I just thought there was a good team around each other.
Who?
Steph Curry.
You never thought this. Wait a minute. Wait. You never thought Steph Curry was a superstar?
No. No, I never thought that. I just think they was a good team.
He's a superstar, Ron. He just don't show up in the finals.
Yeah. Once again, superstar wise, you got to show up.
He actually showed up. He actually showed up the last finals, but Kevin Durant was just so much better. He still won.
That's true. You're right, Zar.
So that was his best finals.
And to be fair, because you know he's never been one of my favorite people, but when he donated that you know those you know that whole thing to the
here we go.
No. I like what he did. It changed my opinion. I don't care. I mean, when he did that thing with the golf team, I love that, man. I love to see brothers giving back, man. That's right. I mean, I give back my whole life. You know,
it's another discussion, but I hear you. It's another discussion, but I hear you.
No, but I'm just saying, like, why do you like certain players? I mean,
because of what they do on the court,
right? But like, that's the only reason. I mean,
hold on. We wouldn't know him I wouldn't know Michael Jordan if he didn't play NBA basketball, probably. Let's say he wasn't good and he was just a businessman somewhere, like a lot of successful black men. I like Michael Jordan. He influenced me as a basketball player. That's why I like him.
Well, who's the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, the first black owner? We found out who he was. I mean, we don't only know black folks because of athletics.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, you asked me why I like Michael Jordan. I'm saying I like him because the first time I ever saw him, he's an NBA or a college player, actually. Right. And you know what I mean? I didn't really start liking him until he got on Chicago. But I'm saying that's what I'm seeing.
But I'm not hating on you because that's what you like. I mean, you have every right, or Sharon has every right to like them for whatever reason you want. But I also have that right too, though, right? I mean, if I want to like somebody or dislike them or root against them, plus, I was a Knicks fan back then. He used to always beat our ass. So what do you think? I thought kindly of that? Come on, let's keep it real. If somebody beats your team all the time, you're not going to like them. Right. I wasn't, and I used to hate it when I started Madison Square Garden. All those stupid Knicks fans or New York fans, every time Jordan used to make a move, shake and bake, they won a while, and I want to knock some of them out.
I got you.
Okay, back in the day.
Let's stay on topic. I know you're passionate about that, but Sharon, go ahead. Why is Joker an MVP?
Well, I actually agree with Mr. Hargrove in that he was the one that stayed healthy. So it's like he was the last man standing, like he said. If you look at what every individual player did this season, there were a ton of people that played better than him. That's just a fact. But what he meant to the team, I believe. Okay, the definition of the MVP, in my opinion, changes up just about every year in the NBA. It does not always mean the same thing. Some people may disagree, but that's how I see it. Because sometimes when you listen to the ones who vote talking about the MVP award, they will say a reason. Here's why I feel this guy is the MVP. And they'll list these reasons. But 3 or 4 years ago, one of those reasons that they list for giving this person the MVP is a reason why they didn't give it to somebody else. So if that's the case, I'm not hung up on this. If your team didn't make the playoffs, you can't be an MVP. And people who keep saying that forget that there's a player that did win the MVP who was not in the postseason. I'm not even going to say what his name is. You can look it up. If you don't know by now, you should know. But what I'm saying is, stop saying that that's the reason. That's the main reason. Besides, if your team doesn't win and they don't make the playoffs, you can't be an MVP. No, that's a lie. You can be. Is it likely? No. Why? Because everybody is bought into that narrative that you can't be. And it doesn't matter what you do, how great you are for your team. I disagree with that, but that's what the majority says. And the majority always rules in a democratic society. Mm-hmm. So since most of y'all say that, I'm not going to buck against it. I'm just saying what my personal opinion is on that. Now, so that being said, did he deserve it? I don't think so. Am I upset about it? No. Because anybody could argue any reason why the others who were in the running should not win it. And the main thing they're going to say is, well, they were injured for a lot of the season. They missed too many games. And you couldn't say that about Joker. You couldn't say that about him. Because he stayed healthy. So there you have it. And yes, I agree. He was everything on that team. You're right. When Murray got injured, he's surrounded by role players. They brought our boy Aaron over from what's his name?
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon.
Brought our boy Aaron over. They brought what's his name? JaVale McGee over.
JaVale McGee.
And I mean, they brought some people around him who were a step up from what they had, but they weren't superstars. Right. And so, yeah, he did bring them kicking and screaming, carrying them into the playoffs. He did. So, okay, he wins his first award. Cool. You got it. But now he has a target on his back, because if he doesn't bring home a chip, he's going to be one of those paper MVPs. And he's not going to like that feeling at all. The NBA is not kind to paper MVPs. No. We all know it. So that's where I'm at on it. You can go on to the next subject.
All right, well, comments. Anthony White says Jokic had a great season. I think he deserved it, but CP3 should have gotten more votes. Nobody was more valuable to his team than CP3. Blaze says Denver screwed themselves. They traded their backup guards for that bum Aaron Gordon. Then Murray got hurt. Blaze says, laugh out loud, even the Suns fans were whooping on Nuggets fans in the stand. Blaze said Trish Joy's negative teams win championships. MVP is a player award. She also said, she responded, well, each team should give their own MVP, like student of the month. she mentioned Sharon Mullen. Let's see, let's skip. Blaze says, bruh, MVP is a regular season award. Laugh out loud. Suns were the better team than the Nuggets. The better team won. And Sharon, you put in the comments, Trisha Joy, they should award a league MVP as well. And then Blaze said, with all health aside, Embiid would have got it. He was definitely right there with Joker before he got hurt. I will agree with that. And,
he certainly was.
Yeah.
And if he had stayed healthy and kept balling like he's balling,
and the number one seed,
I think he would have gotten it, because
I could see that. I agree.
Yeah, because more people were leaning towards Embiid.
Right. Okay. And it's like everything we mentioned, it brings us right into the next segue. And as Dennis just put for the topic, the Suns are balling. What you got to say about them, Ron? What your Phoenix Suns? Talk to me.
To say about them. Go ahead, Ron.
They is balling. They've been whipping butt. They had not been this far in 10 years or 15 years, but they doing their thing
since Steve Nash.
Right. So you gotta give them props.
Oh, I do. We do.
Nah, that's my opinion.
We have to. You said we have to. We have to.
I mean, hey, it is what it is.
All right.
Tell them, Guru, what you got somebody
about Phoenix?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give them credit. Right now, they're playing the best basketball in the entire NBA. They are. I mean, I'm not happy at that clown that was clowning on my boy, but I mean, to the victors go the spoils, and give him a lot of credit. I mean, Chris Paul, as much as I was in agreement last week that Booker is just as much the MVP on that team, if not more valuable. Chris Paul's been balling out, man. I got to give him a lot of props, and I guess also you got to give this leadership some props too, because I think we were also kind of poo-pooing on his leadership. His leadership has been tremendous, and then Monty Williams, who, if you don't like Monty Williams, man, you don't have a heart, man. I mean, this guy who lost his wife in that horrible car accident, and I mean, your heart goes out to him as a human being, as a father, as a husband, and the way he handled it, the dignity that he showed when faced with such tragedy was just mind-boggling. And so, yeah, Phoenix, even though they beat my boys, I mean, right now, like I said, they got it. To me, and I heard that Vegas has Utah over them. Not my eyes. I mean, I don't know what they watching. I got to go right now. That's even though Ron be driving me crazy with this football talk here in June, but hey man, good luck to your team, man. God bless you, my brother. You got a good shot. And I don't care who comes out of the East. I don't care if Santa Claus come out of the East.
That'd be a vaunted task.
Say that again.
That'd be a vaunted task.
Yeah, with the reindeer and all. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this heat. You know what I'm saying? But hey man, them brothers playing some basketball, man. They playing some basketball. Give them their due, man. And like I said, they do have some good stories. I mean, sometimes you just gotta, open up your eyes and see other people do great things. And just an update: 19-9, Milwaukee over Brooklyn. So it's still early, 4:50 left to go in the first quarter. So just a little update for anybody out there who wants it.
Yeah. For me, I have to I will give props to the Suns. I do believe that the main reason for their success is the coaching of Monty Williams, the stepping up of DeAndre Ayton, and the natural progression of what's his name? Booker. This so-called leadership of Chris Paul. Everybody keeps talking about, and his leadership has been wonderful. I want somebody to show me. I want footage. I want you to show me evidence of his leadership with his team. Because I haven't seen evidence of his leadership being the reason. I hear about it. I keep hearing this narrative about his leadership being a difference maker, but I haven't seen leadership demonstrated in such a way I can say, wow, Chris Paul did that. Wow, Chris Paul did this. Chris Paul did that. I've seen Devin Booker just take it on himself to get better. That's what I've seen. And he was better last season without Chris Paul. Heads and shoulders. Now, I will say that another difference has been Ayton's advancement. I really can't say that that's due to Chris Paul. I can't say that. I haven't seen anything that showed footage of Chris Paul like spending one-on-one time working with him. He hasn't said in the interview, hey, Chris Paul has helped my footwork. Hey, Chris Paul has helped me. Chris Paul, he's coming to the team. He's helped me. I haven't seen it. Now, if it's out there, hey, put the link in the comments, y'all. I'll look at it. But I'm saying as far as me sitting right here, I love the romance of Chris Paul and how y'all just rooting for this guy so much that you all are filling in this narrative. But I haven't seen evidence of his leadership being the reason. I'm giving all my credit to Monty Williams, Devin Booker, and Ayton. That's who I'm giving the main credit to. Now, he's a good point guard, so he is distributing the ball. Every team needs a good point guard to do that. So, okay, he's a good piece, but I'm not gonna say that he's the reason. Not gonna do it. But I do give them credit. They are balling. They are looking like the best team in the game right now. And Utah need to take notice. I hope they're up there strategizing, getting prepared for them, because I don't see how they have an answer for Devin Booker. Forget the rest. I don't even see how they're going to shut him down. If you can't shut him down, they're not going to win.
I love how all y'all just talking about Utah, like the favorites over Phoenix and Utah. There is this team out there called the Clippers that are still playing right now.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want me to say something about the Clippers, okay. I don't see how they're going to, I don't see the Clippers getting past them. So,
okay.
Okay, if they do get past them, then hey, I hope they got an answer for.
So who are you rooting for? Who are you rooting for?
Kawhi is the only one that's really balling with the Clippers. Right. I would hope they have an answer for Kawhi then.
So who would you root for in the Clippers-Phoenix matchup?
Phoenix?
Okay.
It's no hesitation.
Oh, okay.
I'll be the Suns. I'll go buy me some orange and blue and put it on and get some pom-poms.
With CP3 on the front?
Send my positive energy to the Suns. I don't like CP3. I don't like CP3, but I hate the Clippers more. So, yeah, I'll be rooting for the Suns. I'll be a Sun-loving chick if that's what happens.
Right.
Yes.
For me, we talked about it. I have, I don't like the Lakers, but I try to pick evenly. The Suns, they're playing great ball. You can't knock it. But to me, I felt, and we talked about past years, it happens. I can name a few examples. The Suns got lucky in the first round. AD got hurt. You know, it was a big, you know, Denver, they got Denver, no Jamal Murray. So while yes, they're playing great, they've had luck. I don't know if they beat the Lakers if Anthony Davis does not get hurt. I don't know that they beat the Lakers. If Jamal Murray's
I
there.
don't either. I don't either. In fact, I don't think they did. If LeBron and AD were healthy, they would not have beaten the Lakers, but they are, if it was a fifth, then I'd be drunk as hell. So we can't even rely on that. So
right. So for me, no, kudos. You know, you're supposed to take advantage of. It's like the wounded animal. You know, you take advantage of. You got one goal, and no matter what's in your way, if it's a big dump truck or if it's a Hyundai, you got to get over that hump. So you got to go through it. So no matter what's in your way, it will be a Pinto or a Lamborghini. You know, if you got to get past it, you got to get past it. So props to them, but I still think they have work to do, and I don't think it's going to be easy for them. So, all right, before we go to the next last basketball topic, let's see comments here. We got Suns haven't been this far since '93, the year that Barkley took them to the finals. I think that was their only finals appearance. CP3 Blaze says, Chris Paul leads by an example, baby. Get past your CP3 hate, Sharon. Do you want to say something to that?
I know he ain't got nothing to tell me about getting past some CP3 hate. No. Hush, Dennis. I got something for you when you get back.
No, that was Blaze.
Oh, Blaze, as much as you hate the Steelers, talking about my Steelers every week on Friday on the AFC North show, please don't talk to me about hate.
But we will get to Dennis shortly. So Corey says Monty Williams put in work as a coach. CP3 is what they needed. He's a floor general. Dennis, however, says, I knew it wasn't going to last, Sharon Mullen, giving Suns love. Trisha said,
yeah, because he been looking for me to give them some love all season, and I wouldn't give him as much props as he is, so he's happy that I'm now showing them some love.
However, he did type CP3 hate like 3 different times in caps for you.
That's all right.
Trisha put, we praise people that lose. He ain't never been to the finals, but we want to praise him. Bunch of whatever.
She also said, preach, Sharon. Thank you, Trisha Joy.
I said that. She said it twice, actually. Blaze says, we're going to start calling him Christ Paul after they win it all. Corey said they swept Denver Nuggets and their MVP, for God's sake. Dennis put, why you got to waste time finding a link? It won't change your mind, Sharon or Trisha. And then Trisha.
No, if I found a link, if there was something showing proof of this so-called leadership making a difference, oh yeah, I'll change my mind.
Okay.
It ain't there though.
Blaze put Utah ain't getting out of their own damn series. That's what I'm hoping. You just can't dismiss the Clippers. Dennis put Trisha. I'd he win the chip this year. It still won't change your mind. Basically, he's just fighting for CP3. So bad for you with you two. Ricky says, why take notice when I told you all not to sleep on the Phoenix Suns. Blaze put, I can't wait to see Suns versus Clips for Sharon's take. Ha ha ha. Trisha put, people still feeling sorry for him for 2 decades straight for not getting his Lakers trade.
Yeah.
Is that one of the reasons you hate CP3? It wasn't his fault though.
No, that's not one way. Okay. That's not a reason why. I've already talked about why I can't stand him. But
okay,
go ahead. That wasn't it though.
And then Dennis put, F the Lakers trade. I will admit this is his last chance as a star to make the finals. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the comments. All right.
Wait a minute. Blaze said, what's Sharon going to do if CP3 won finals MVP? And I said, live. I will be just fine. Yeah. I will be just fine.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
That's it. I'll be just fine. Who cares? I don't care that much, but whatever.
All right. So before we switch to another sport, Rudy Gobert won his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award. How are we feeling about that? What you think, Ryan? How you feeling? Did he deserve it? Is he a Hall of Famer now? I'm just getting. What's your thoughts in general? Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't think he a Hall of Famer. We need to wait till his career over to say Hall of Famer.
Do you think he deserved the award this year?
Yes or no? I think it were other people that did better, but it is what it is, you know. So.
Okay. What'd you think, Guru?
I was surprised to learn that he had won it for the third time, to be honest with you, because I remember him crying one time when he didn't win it, I believe, on national television. So that surprised me. But then again, last year I thought Anthony Davis should have won it, and he didn't win it. So, you know, when you get into these media awards, you know, a lot of times it's convoluted. So you can't always, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. The media is very biased, you know, especially mainstream media. I don't know if there's anyone that deserves it over him this year, to be honest with you. But I don't necessarily think he is as dominant as the award kind of, you know, makes it seem like he is, because like I said, last year, I thought that Anthony Davis was his shoulders, head and shoulders above anyone. And I believe Giannis won the award, if I'm not mistaken. So
yes, he did.
You know that like I said, it gets a little convoluted sometimes. You know, this year with so many injuries, so I don't know if there was anybody that you could say that deserved it over him. You know, not necessarily. And if there's somebody that I'm omitting right now, then, you know, anyone can correct me. But, you know, as far as him being a Hall of Famer, I think he has to work on his game. I mean, we've seen, you know, a lot. And that's something that's interesting, because you've seen, you know, Jordan work on his game, especially his three-point shooting as he got older. You saw other players, you know, Magic in particular, worked on his shooting. Jason Kidd, another great example, who wasn't a really good shooter, who learned how to shoot the three. But big guys, you know, even like a guy like Giannis, he's got to learn how to have a low post move or go-to move. He's got to. A guy like who we're talking about now, Rudy Gobert, he's got to get some sort of, you know, lefty hook, or, you know, or it doesn't even have to be a sky hook. It could just be a jump hook. So big men have a tendency, and I don't know if that's fair or not to really develop much other than the fact that they have height. So it would be nice to see guys get in the gym, because, you know, Magic used to always talk about that you get better in the summertime. Now, obviously, because of the, you know, COVID, the seasons have overlapped, and this year we'll have the Olympics. But really, that's when you get better. You get better in the summertime when you're not playing. That's when, you know, because even with the COVID this year, there was no practice time, so there's no way you could really develop stuff. But you know, we got to start seeing that from, you know, some of these big men. You know, seeing them develop their game, because really, you know, the game is going away from the big men. You know, this is not, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, you know, and then Shaq and Olajuwon, Ewing. That era is passed us by. Most of the big men are jump shooters these days, but except for Giannis, I don't know where the hell he needs to stop shooting jumpers. But that's
let me ask you, who would you rank higher, Rudy Gobert or Ben Wallace? There's a reason I'm asking, but I want to see what you say.
Good question, because that's exactly where I was going. But go ahead.
I think Rudy was a better, you know, because he had, you know, he had the height. So he was better than Ben Wallace, because Ben Wallace couldn't score to save his life.
Okay. No, the only reason I ask you, because you know Ben Wallace is going into the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, and I'm not so much you know, if I had a vote, this is why some people say this, and I kind of get mad at them when they talk about my sport, when they say that the NBA is the easiest Hall of Fame or the most watered down Hall of Fame. Now you got to remember that the college game is also included in that, where it's not really included in the other sports. So that's part of the reason. But yeah, Ben Wallace, He ain't no damn Hall of Famer in my eyes. He's a very good player. He's a very good player who was a role player. Now, Rodman was a role player who I could see in the Hall of Fame. But Ben Wallace, no, I don't put him. Rodman transcended the game. Rodman sort of transcended the game, and the fact that he was so quirky. He was such a one-of-a-kind type of player. So I could see Rodman in there before I see Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace, if I had a vote, he's not in anybody's Hall of Fame. He ain't in the Hall of Shame, but he ain't in the Hall of Fame.
Got it. Go ahead, Sharon. Speak on it. We already brought him up. Ben Wallace, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say about Ben Wallace, exactly what you said. They're letting him in the Hall of Fame. He only has one more Defensive Player of the Year award than Rudy Gobert does currently, and Rudy's still playing. Right. It's not like Rudy's on his last leg on his way out, and he's already got 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and Ben has 4 his whole career. Right. And Ben was in the league 16 seasons, so 4 over 16, 3 and 8.
Yeah.
I think Rudy Gobert is kind of leaving him in the dust when it comes to Defensive Player of the Year awards, at least. As far as a Hall of Fame, I don't really care if people think that he's Hall of Fame or not. I think it's way too early, like you said, to determine whether or not Rudy Gobert should be in the Hall of Fame. I really hate when people ask these questions. Unless you are a superstar where it is obvious you are Hall of Fame worthy right now, if players are still playing, there's 2 things that you should never do, in my opinion. And I know, Trisha, if you're listening, you've heard me say this many times. If you are still playing in any sport, there's 2 things that you should never ask. 1, are they Hall of Fame worthy? Unless it is obvious. Their first ballot, nothing you can say about it. Everybody knows this person is Hall of Fame because they're just that damn good. And 2, where do they fall on the all-time list? Because you don't know how their career is going to end up. You don't know if they're going to team up with Super Team and just to get rings. And you don't know what they're going to do because people hold that against people. Right. So stop asking, about ranking and Hall of Fame and just talk about where they are right now. That being said, I had no problem with him winning the Defensive Player of the Year because playing defense in the NBA is like an endangered freaking species anyway. So it's not like it's very hard to win that because everybody ain't playing that. Right? Everybody's not playing that. If they gave out a 3-point shooting percentage award separate from all the other awards, everybody be battling for that. They wouldn't even be thinking about defense. I'm glad they don't give that out. Right. So I don't have any problem. Applause to him. I didn't have any problem with Giannis getting it last season. Once I looked at the numbers, I can see how he got it over Rudy, because while he was doing well on defense, he was also scoring 29.5 points per game. Now, when Rudy can do that, because the most he did was 15.9 in the season, playing great defense. When he can do that, then maybe he can have something to cry about with Giannis winning it. But he hasn't done that so far. So when you're looking at Defensive Player of the Year, I know people say, well, it's supposed to be about defense. Yeah, but if you're able to be a perennial defender while shooting 29.5 points a game in this league, in this era, yeah, he should have gotten that award last season, and I don't have any problem with it.
Agreed. Now, me, I don't have a problem with him winning it this year. I actually did think another player, like you thought, like Guru thought AD should have won. My vote was for Ben Simmons, who finished second. I thought he's kind of always been creeping up, trying to get in the running. But for me, perimeter defense is a little harder, in my opinion. And he's guarding, the team's best perimeter player every game. And to me, and he's consistent, and he's, he did very well this year, in my opinion. And I thought that he was finally going to get it. And I know the NBA doesn't like giving the same player the awards multiple times, which it shouldn't be that way. But, obviously we could talk about MVPs, like a Jordan should have won every year, or, LeBron even, whatever. Kobe could have got more, they don't like doing that. But I personally felt Ben Simmons should have got it this year. But again, it's arguable. It's not like, landslide or anything like that. For me, Hall of Fame, and like Sharon said, he's 8 years in. I right now, I think he's like on the fence. I think if he stays at what he's doing, I don't think he'll ever get an offensive game. Ben Wallace never got an offensive game. Rodman didn't get an offensive game. Just continue to do what he's doing, rebounding, playing defense, and running for that award. And want to be in the top 5 center, he'll get in. I mean, Ben Wallace got in, he'll get in. So I definitely think that he'll be a Hall of Famer, unless he was to get hurt next year and have a career-ending injury. Then it would be a really good question if he should get in. But I do definitely see him getting in. So, kudos to him. I know Shaq don't like him much because he says you can be 7 foot, average 12 points a game, and get $200 million. So,
wow.
But that's another story. So. All right, let's see any comments on that. We're going to switch the sport up. We got Trisha's asking everybody, what will it take for y'all to respect the Utah player? I don't like him or dislike him personally, but I don't know about anyone else. If anybody wants to answer that question or whatever the case. She said the whole panel is just disrespecting Utah. Okay.
Except?
Wait a minute.
Except?
I'm going to answer that.
Hold up, Ron. Except? Keep reading. Except what?
Did I skip it?
Except Sharon, she said.
Oh, the next line. Okay, that goes together. I didn't disrespect Utah. I didn't.
Thank you, Trisha.
I didn't disrespect them. Go ahead, Ron.
I did not disrespect them, but what I think, they saying if he a superstar, he's supposed to at least win one game. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Who you talking about, Ron?
They get swept.
No, Utah's still in there. We're talking about Gobert.
Oh.
He thought he's still talking about Joker again. He said, "Oh,
my bad."
All right, Dennis put he might be a Utah hatter. I don't know what a hatter is, but
he meant hater.
I'm messing with Dennis. Would you make some Utah hats, brother? All right. Trisha put ask homeboy that said yes and no who he picked. He can't name one. Then that was Ron. Because when I asked him the question. Blaze put, I did say Gobert should win the award, though, because rebounds are a big factor in the award. Corey put, I agree, Guru. Gobert reminds me of Mitchell Robinson. They're too stiff. Mitchell Robinson got a long way to go to be in that conversation.
You got that right.
Blaze, Knicks wish if Mitchell Robinson becomes a Rudy Gobert in New York, then get ready to have some what they're doing. Oh yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one.
They love him here, though. They do love him.
Oh no, I think he's got potential, but he's fragile as they come. Blaze, Trisha Joy, the best stories come out of struggle. Trisha Joy said Ben Wallace with a bunch of question marks. Let's see. What's up? Shout out to Mr. Stanfield, Divine. He put, how many did Rodman have? Defensive Player of the Years. That's a good question. I know when he got his first one, he cried. That I don't know. That's a good question. That would have to
2
be
or 3. I'll look
researched.
it up. Keep talking.
And then he put, what's his career stats as well? I know his rebounds are phenomenal. Corey, someone answered 5. I would have never guessed that. So that's a hell of a lot. Divine, I think he might be the greatest defender to ever play.
Dennis Rodman only had 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards.
Put 5.
I'm looking at the list right now. He got it in 1990, 91, so they were back to back.
Okay, got it. Okay. Divine also said it's not NBA Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, College International.
We know.
All their contributions matter. It's impact, not just stats.
So you got an Apple computer there, Sharon?
No, I have a PC. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dennis put trade ban for Dame. Okay. Devon said Drew Holiday and Embiid deserved it more than all of them. No, I mean, if you're going to pick a Sixer, it was Simmons, in my opinion. But I'm not mad about Rudy because his team was the best in the NBA. And Corey said money making Mitch. And then Corey said Joe Dumars is better than both Gobert and Wallace. Okay. And those are your comments up to date. Mm-hmm. All right. So now Dennis wants us to swing it, and I'll talk about this again. Oh, here we go, Guru. Sorry, brother. Is Aaron Rodgers leaving? You go ahead, Guru. Get it off your chest, man.
I've already, my thing with Aaron Rodgers is not really whether he's leaving or not. I don't know. I mean, it does seem like he's trying to pave a way out of there. It does seem like he's alienate the Green Bay fan, which you don't really want to do. But as far as this trade business, it's really not that many teams that could trade for him, to be honest with you. So, I mean, he might be stuck there for this year. And then you got this whole thing with is it Jeopardy, the game that he's supposedly the guy who passed away, and they want to pay him $1 million. Well, $1 million is a lot less than 19. So, or 5 is less than 19 is, if I still do my math, we'll see what happens. I'm kind of all Aaron Rodgers out, to be honest with you. I think that too much, he is somewhat of a diva because, he is trying to weasel out of his contract. And that would be the only problem I have with him. And then also, alienating your teammates, man. I mean, that's, I don't even like what Russell Wilson did with calling out his offensive linemen. And that surprised me because Russell is usually a guy that says always the right thing and always does the right thing. I mean, even when he was fighting with whatever that guy name is, Future, I think, I mean, he took the high road. You know what I'm saying? So kind of weird, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I worry a lot less about these type of things than most people. I know the NFL is supposedly, the king, so to speak. This is NBA time, man. I'm loving what's going on in the NBA. It is my favorite sport. Not to say that I don't love football, because I do love football, and it keeps you occupied every week, even if a guy like myself doesn't have a quote unquote favorite team. It's just a season where I go get my wings and do all those kind of things and game.
Come on over to Dallas, man. We got room for you, man. Come on over.
Well, yeah, I don't hate Dallas as much as some people do. I think Jerry Jones is my biggest problem with you guys. That he that old sort of racist, kind of old school type of mentality he has. And then I didn't like the fact that your running back and your quarterback kind of didn't say a word until they one of them didn't get their money, and then all of a sudden and then the social justice thing came, and then finally they decided to be brothers. But beside that, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, I think you guys are going to have a pretty good season, though. I really do. I do think you're going to have a good season. And it would be nice to see, because, I hate Stephen A. Smith getting all over you guys, man. I mean, that drives me crazy. He just go crazy on you, brothers. But, you guys got thick skin down there. You Texans, even though you from L.A. I don't know how the hell you a Cowboy fan. But, anyway, it's all, it's a little bit, you can root for who you want to root for, Czar. You the man.
All right, Ryan. As much as I would love to talk about Dallas, we'll stick with the Aaron Rodgers, but you can come on the board when you're ready, Guru. Ryan, we'll talk to him about Aaron Rodgers. I trade Matt Ryan for him. What's going on?
I would trade Matt Ryan for Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
You know why? Matt Ryan had not got it done. Aaron Rodgers have. He got a Super Bowl ring. Yeah, we went to the Super Bowl, but Matt Ryan did not get it done. Leadership play a factor in football. And Rodgers got a lot of leadership. Can he get it done? Yes. Had Green Bay put the weapons around Aaron Rodgers? No. Because last year, they got a quarterback instead of a wide receiver that will help him on the other side. So you showing Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay showing Aaron Rodgers, look, we don't need you. We got love back here. But if I'm Green Bay, I I tell Aaron Rodgers, look, we want you to be here, but he looking at, you're not giving me what I need to help me out here. So it up in the air right now.
Up in the air like George Clooney. I hear you. Sharon, how you feel about it?
Well, I have said all along that he will be playing in a green and gold Green Bay Packers uniform, number 12 on his back, come the start of this season. Beyond that, I believe he will leave after that, but this season he will be playing for the Green Bay Packers. That's my opinion. But if we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, let me recap a few things. Okay? Because I did a chocolate girl moment on this dude soon after the NFL draft. I think it was our next show after the draft. And I'm going to remind you guys of what this is all about. You know, this is not Aaron Rodgers wants to leave because they didn't get him the people he needs to be successful. This is not Aaron Rodgers leaving because they drafted a quarterback. People, teams draft quarterbacks all the time. They don't automatically walk on the field and start. So it's not necessarily that's his replacement this year or last season even, because we all saw it wasn't. So that's not what this is about. What this is about is total disrespect for Aaron Rodgers. The front office is not feeling him. They don't respect him. They don't respect his preferences. They don't respect his opinion, and they told him so. And that's the reason why he's mad. It's like he's throwing a huge tantrum because you're not listening to me, and I need attention. It's like being on the cheerleading squad, and you got the captain of the cheerleading team, and every time something happens with the cheerleading squad, the coach goes to the chick who's number 12 in the rotation and asks their opinion and skips right over you. That's what this is about. Disrespect. Why do I say that? Just to remind you. There's 32 teams in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Am I right? 32.
Yes.
Last season, Aaron Rodgers played well enough that he was named what? MVP. Last I checked, that's a big damn deal in the NFL.
Yeah.
So he played well enough that he earned an MVP award. Yet in the playoffs, after all those turnovers made by the opposing team, they took the ball out of his hands. That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful to him. That shows a vote. That's like a vote of no confidence on a board somewhere. We don't believe in you, so we gonna ask you to step down, even though you don't want to. We want you to step down. That's what that was. And so also, despite all the disrespect that he's been feeling all along, the team finished first in touchdowns. Remember, 32 teams. They finished first in touchdowns made, first in average yards per drive, first in points scored per drive, 13-3 on the season with that. Won the division. They lost in the conference championship, but look at what all they did. They were first in touchdowns, ninth in defensive touchdowns allowed, first in interceptions made, eighth in rushing yards, 13th in defense against the run, 15 in rushing TDs, 14th in defense against rushing TDs. I mean, the team performed. So I'm going to remind you guys, this is not about what the front office has done in terms of drafts. Please stop saying this, people. I'm not saying anybody in here. I'm just saying this is what I keep hearing as I go and travel throughout these sports groups that I'm in. And I watch sports broadcasts, not just ESPN. I don't only watch ESPN. I watch a whole bunch of sports networks. And it's not always national. Some of them are regional and some are local. And I keep hearing that. That's not what this is about. This is about the total disrespect for this man. I can't stand him personally, okay? But being unbiased about it, I can see why he feels disrespected and why he wants to go. But they're not going to let his ass go. Not this season. They're like a defiant child. Oh, you want to go? Oh, well, we ain't going to let you go on your time. We're going to let you go on our time. That's what they're going to do. And that's what they were trying to do with Deshaun Watson. And if somebody hadn't paid all them bimbos to come forward and say that he harassed them in some way or assaulted them in some way, he would be winning that right now. But that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, so that's where we are with this. This is the truth of the matter. As I see it, as the facts lay out, this is the truth of the matter. It's been published everywhere that this is what they did to him when he went to the front office to say, here's my opinion. They were like, oh, no, why don't you get over there, son? You bother me. If we want your opinion, we'll ask you for it. Mm-hmm. Oh? And you know, with his arrogant tail, he's not used to that. So that's what this is about. It's his pride that's hurt. It's not the failure of the front office in any other way. It's his pride because they disrespected him, which they should not have done. They should be kissing the ground that man walks on. Because if it hadn't been for him, all these years he's been there, how long he been in the year in the league? 13, however many it is.
13 years.
Live and die by that man.
And
if he was not their quarterback, they would be the laughing stock of the league right now. So they should be kissing his butt. I hate to say that. He's a star. Even though I don't like him, that's what the facts say. So that's where I'm at. He's going to be there, though, come September. He'll be suiting up, mad as hell, suiting up.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is he leaving? No. So Guru, I kind of disagreed a little bit earlier with what Guru said about there's no people don't have anything to trade for him. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you remember, but before the draft or even the day of the draft, when it became this huge story, what do you want to say, Ron?
No, I was going to say you're right. Denver trying to give up everything.
They offered the house.
The whole house.
The 49ers offered the house.
But that
was before they drafted the kid from
that was before the draft.
How can they
No. Okay, let me take further. Okay, what I mean is, no, Denver is still trying to get Aaron Rodgers to this day.
Right, I agree with that. But that's about the only team right now that could really swing them in there unless they just restructured everybody, and that's kind of hard to do.
No, but I guess the point I'm making is it's not about drafting and what people have. Denver, what I saw what Denver offered and the Niners at whatever time, I was like, and I love y'all. Y'all know me. Y'all hear me talk about Aaron Rodgers. He's possibly the best quarterback I've ever seen. I've said that. I would, with this bullshit that's going on, what Denver supposedly offered, I would have done that and would have ran all the way down the avenue. Like, they offered. Like I'm telling you.
What did they offer?
I pay to see that.
What they offer?
They offered, from what I remember, there was a couple of different ones. They offered one of the quarterbacks, either Locker, they're gonna give Bridgewater or Lock. I think it was Lock. 3 first-round picks and the two best defensive players. The linebacker, not Von Miller, the young Chubb, and another all-star starters on defense. And 3 number 1 picks and Drew Lock. There's 2 defensive starters that are stars, and Green Bay needs that. With 3 first-round picks.
So you saying that Green Bay turned
them down flat.
Turn it down.
Well,
Green Bay was like,
they're not using their noodles. They won 1 Super Bowl with him, the same as with Brett Favre, and I don't think they win in no Super Bowl with him anyway. So you might as well reload.
Right. So that's my opinion. They're calling his bluff. He's not going nowhere this year. Next year is a completely different story. He can't do nothing this year. If he would even retire, he had to give around, I forgot the exact number, but he had to pay them like $23 or $25 million.
He ain't doing that.
Right, exactly. So there is not going to be a jeopardy. at least not this year. So I'm with Sharon. He will be a Packer when September hits, or whatever the case may be, and that will be the end of that for at least this season until the next off season, in my opinion. All right, let's see any Aaron Rodgers talk here. Let's see comments. All right, so we have Aaron Rodgers to the Denver Broncos. Just mentioned it. Devon says Ron could try to trade the entire Falcons defense and Matt Ryan for Aaron Rodgers, and Green Bay better effing reject that shit. Let's see. Corey put he's done so much for that organization. Dennis put 48 TDs. I think that's what he had last year. And yes, 6 interceptions, Corey. That's a hell of a ratio.
Yeah, a lot. They did.
Corey put 16. I don't know what 16 years in the league instead of 13. Okay, great. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was 16. Yeah, right. I was guessing.
No worries. And then Dennis put, I think he goes to Las Vegas. There were another team that was in the rumors as well, offering pretty much the basement. And then Corey put he's better than Brady. I think skill set wise he is. He doesn't have the rings.
Oh yeah, he is. Let me give y'all these last little tidbits on Aaron Rodgers. He has 1 Super Bowl ring, 3 MVPs, 9-time Pro Bowl, 3 times All Pro. There's only 4 times since he started that he threw for less than 4,000 yards.
Yeah, that's
4.
That's good. Yeah.
4 in 16 seasons.
Right.
They owe him more respect than that. Yep. And I'm saying that as an Aaron Rodgers hater. You still can't. I mean, disrespect is disrespect, and that's what this is all about.
I agree with you 100%. All right. Well, one last topic before Ron's questions. Knock this out of the bud. There's been some issues with the New England Patriots and their top corner, Gilmore, not showing up to the mandatory workouts. So certain people think he may be traded. People don't know what's going on. It's never been any issues with him over in New England land. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think he'll be traded? Do you think it'll be worked out? Well, why is he not showing up? It's kind of out of the blue.
Can I go real quick?
Yeah,
let me go real quick. Belichick doesn't play when it comes to OTAs and structure. So I anticipate either the reason for his disappearance has to be so good that even Belichick will understand and let him stay. Otherwise, his ass gonna be traded. And it doesn't matter how good he is, because he just doesn't get down like that. That's where I'm at. That's about as much as I know, and I don't want to be long because we really got to get to Ron's questions. So,
I would y'all. On this one. He don't play that. You missing training camp, all that stuff, and you bringing attention to the whole team with all the BS. So he might get traded. You?
I'm not gonna delay because I know you can get your questions. He's gone.
Ooh. All right, I like that. I don't think I ever seen Guru give a 2-word answer. He's gone. Whoa, man, that's kind of scary. Made me look at the screen like, what happened?
Sharon, you know you are beautiful when you smile.
Oh Lord, here we go. Dennis, I didn't make him say that. I swear to God, it was not me.
Bizarre.
I don't know if y'all watching the game, but Brooke Lopez just made this 3. It was Curry-like. It was nasty. Y'all go ahead.
No, he won't get traded. Belichick's on a mission. That's a key piece. He's going to do, even though I agree with Sharon, he's no nonsense. He don't take no bull. If someone will get rid of you, it will be him. But they need Stephen Gilmore. I mean, to me, he's still arguably the best cornerback in the NFL.
Well, wait a minute, Czar. I said unless the reason is so damn good that he can explain it to Belichick and he accepts it.
Right.
Now, if he can do that, then you'll see him in a Patriots uniform come September. Yeah. But
Right.
If he can't do that,
it better be a damn good reason. That's all I'm saying. Because he don't get down. He does not get down like that.
Agreed.
That's it, and that's all.
Yeah. And Belichick now knows he's on this mission. He's not going to get value. Never get equal value for the most part when you trade a superstar. I mean, at the quarterback position, again, like I just mentioned, teams throwing a house at Rodgers. But, even that, you don't get value for it. That's value that you get for rebuilding, and you'll eventually get the value later, especially if you draft correctly and you use those picks properly. But New England's trying to win a Super Bowl this year, and losing him would be they have a great defense, but losing him, I think, would be pretty devastating. So, like Sharon said, it has to be something outlandish or something where Belichick just can't, get past it or whatever the case may be. But I think it'll be worked out behind closed doors. And, yeah. So. All right, Big Ron. Ron's Hot Topics. Let's get it.
Where can you see Kemba Walker playing next season?
You got Guru?
Kemba, I don't know. I saw a couple of trades with him, but I don't know. I mean, Kemba is just kind of you know what? I actually saw him, going to the Lakers somehow. And, it's not the worst thing I've ever heard. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard, because one thing about Kemba, he can hit the jump shot. He's, he wouldn't have to really run the team, because he really don't like running the team, to be honest with you. That's not really his strong suit. He likes to shoot. He likes to drift a little bit. Other than that, I don't know really. I mean, it just depends on who's interested in him, first of all, because a lot of teams may not really be that interested in him. I don't think he's a great player. I think he's a good player. He's a complimentary type player. But you know what? A lot of people don't want Chris Paul going to the Lakers. I think it's kind of absurd that Chris Paul is going to opt out of his deal to try to get, $100 million, because I think he's due 40. So he's basically going to try to get like a 3-year contract for whatever, 40, 80, 120, I guess. I think if you either win the championship or get close, Chris Paul needs to stay with Phoenix, man, because first of all, Chris Paul has been a type of guy who has kind of, not really gotten it done other places, whether it was because of his feud with, Westbrook and really Harden, to be honest, more specific, the way it didn't work out with the Clippers. So if you find a place that you can call home, why not stay there, man? Why not stay there? So, but, look, he could do whatever the hell he wants. But, my point, making this more of a Laker issue, there was rumors that he could go there. Sharon, who I respect her opinion, she don't like Ball going there. And she probably is right about that. And so, the only person really the Lakers probably could get is the kid from Toronto. So I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could be a Laker. It's not out of the realm of possibility. But other than that, I don't see a really smooth landing spot for him. It's going to have to take some creativity. And it has to also be a general manager who believes in his game. Not everybody does at this point.
Okay. Sharon?
So, okay. He's listed as a point guard or a shooting guard?
He's 6'2",
right?
Point guard.
Huh?
Point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's listed as a point guard. I think a large reason why he's a point guard is because he's so small.
Right.
Absolutely.
He shoots okay. I mean, he's not the best shooter, but he's not the worst shooter.
He's streaky.
Anywhere, yes, very streaky, inconsistent, and he folds under the bright lights. That's why he's not good for the Lakers. But then I don't trust in what Rob Pelinka does. So he might end up on the Lakers. I believe it'll be a mistake. Just like some of these other trades, signings he made this past offseason panned out to be mistakes. So I would not be surprised. Kemba needs to go to a team that has an incredible almost an amazing shooting guard. They have to have a shooting guard that's like otherworldly for it to be successful if you're going to put Kemba as your point guard. And you need a great wing player because he's not all that great on the wing either. He doesn't help. Off ball, he's not great off the ball. So, I mean, what can he do? And he's not great enough shooter to create much spacing. So he's kind of just there to really distribute the ball.
Okay.
Because but he's got to have somebody he can distribute it to who can make shots. That's how I see him. So therefore, if I had to pick a team, I don't know. I just know it can't be the Lakers. And if they do, I feel like it's going to be a mistake, and we will see.
Yeah.
Just like I said, signing Andre Drummond. Mistake. What's that fool's name?
Montrez.
His name. Yes, mistake. I know some people disagree with me. I'm in a couple Lakers groups, and I see people in there saying that he was not a mistake, and I'm like, yes, he was, because we should have Dwight Howard playing. We should have had him back. And for me to say that, as much as I don't like Dwight, that's saying something. So anyway, that's where I'm at with him.
Now, kind of share what you said, though. Kind of, they do have that, and they don't. It's the lineup. So I noticed. I mean, because Tatum's a hell of a player, but sometimes they start Marcus Smart next to Kemba, and because they want to get out, they go small ball and they put Tatum or Jalen at 3 and the other one at the 4. But if they want to just put Tatum and leave Smart, who should be on the bench, should not be a starter, and that backcourt is too small anyway, because Smart, I think, is only 6'4", 6'5" as a 2, versus when Kemba being 6'1", 6'2". So if they were to play that right, they would have that.
But let me tell you something, Czar.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a 2 that was like a lights out shooter, like Klay Thompson
or Booker
or Devin Booker, we'd be having a whole nother conversation about Boston right now.
I can see that.
Even with Kemba as a point.
Right.
Is Kemba a free agent, right?
No.
Okay, so why they don't trade him to Houston for John Wall? They're the same player, basically.
But they don't want the same player.
No, they're not the same player.
But even if they were, they don't want the same player, though. Okay. Even though they're not.
John Wall might be damaged goods also. I mean, he can't. I mean, he came off a very career-ending injury, and then he couldn't stay healthy again this year. I mean, it's almost like what's the guy, Abdullah, whatever his name is, the guy from Indiana.
Oladipo.
Oladipo, yeah. These guys can't stay. They can't stay healthy, and their careers are really, both of them are in a crossroads. Both of them may be done, to be honest with you.
Right.
I think John Wall, though, will improve this coming season over last season. I do believe that he probably will not be as explosive as we're used to seeing him. So I think you're right, Guru. I think you're right. But I don't believe that last year is where he's going to finish at, is what I'm saying. Because that was his first season back after the injury. I think the second year will be better than last. But I don't think he will ever return. I don't think he'll ever return to being as great as he used to be.
Yeah, I just don't know what he is. I mean, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. We have to wait and see.
Just in terms of what level player is he? I mean, even when he was at his best, he didn't deserve. Well, he probably didn't deserve that contract, and that's what kind of. No,
before he originally got hurt, he was a baller.
Yeah. He was one of the fastest in the league.
Mm-hmm. Fastest,
and a good ball handler.
Uh-huh.
And a good
He
scorer.
wasn't the best shooter, but he also was a good defender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he passed that ball when he had to, when he had shooters to pass it to. he passed the ball.
Well, that's fair. I wasn't in love with his game. I'm just leave it at that. I wasn't in love with. I don't think he was. He's not a max player. He never was a max player. He should have never got that money, but he did. And I don't begrudge somebody. I mean, if somebody's willing, you're worth what somebody's willing to pay you. I ain't never turn money down, and neither is anybody else.
I feel like 2 years before he actually got the money, he was a max player. He couldn't get it 2 years prior because of the construct of the team. Therefore, I had no problems with when he got the money because I understood that he was getting it for what he was 2 years prior. And that's the reason why he got it. He waited.
Didn't he get Supermax money?
But he decided to stay.
He's making something like almost $50 million a year.
I know it. But he got it late. What I'm saying, a lot of times players get paid based upon what they've done already, not what they're doing right now. That's what happened. That's what happened with COVID. And everybody had such a problem with it. I don't even want to talk about all that. But the bottom line is you're right to be concerned about John Wall. I know the question wasn't about him, but yeah, you're right.
It's like Porzingis. Porzingis got paid all that money, and people think he's not Batman. He's not Lois Lane. He's not Catwoman.
He's Alfred.
He's Alfred. Okay.
Y'all are tough. You always, what, Czar? You always talking about I don't like nobody and I'm hard on people, but dang, y'all are giving people the business today, boy.
Alfred plays an important part to Batman.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Alfred was a cool character.
Alfred, but he ain't athletic. He can't run up a building and do nothing. He just a gadget man. Okay.
He is Porzingis.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all giving Porzingis the business. He's a unicorn, y'all. Come on, man. Respect the unicorn.
Right. My next question. What player can Boston Celtics sign, get them to the finals next year in free agent?
First of all, we don't want to see no Boston Celtics in no finals. No way, no how, no time soon. Okay? Hate the Celtics forever. Let me just get that out of the way. But if you just want to look at players, like I said, if they keep the team together primarily like it is, they need a shooter. And they need a great wing player. And they also need a big man in the middle that can really get it done. What's his name? Tristan Thompson?
Yeah.
He cool. Cool. Ain't Tristan Thompson on the Celtics?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not cool.
I mean, he cool, but he's not as good as he used to be.
Wait a minute.
He's not a good post player. They need somebody strong in the middle.
See, this free agency is,
and that's hard to find in this NBA.
But this free agency is guard heavy, like guard perimeter heavy.
Right.
There's not really no big man.
So it's hard. But they definitely need a shooter. Like just somebody to just post up and shoot. Like if they got Seth Curry, they could make use of Seth Curry. But I don't think the Sixers gonna let him go anywhere anytime soon.
Since there's no big men. Kemba's got to go. They need to do a trade with Kemba. If they can get a point guard swap, I don't see a point guard swap unless they're throwing in hella picks like the Lillard rumors. But they need to trade Kemba. Lauri Markkanen, we may or may not resign. We might try to do a sign and trade. He's a great shooter. Like Sharon just said, they need it. He's a 7-footer. If we could do a sign and trade for that, for Kemba, for him, that would be good for both teams. And then if they were to sign I call him Mike Lowry. But Kyle Lowry. Talking about a veteran leadership that's been to a finals and won a championship to go with Tatum, and more of a ball distributor and can run a team. If you had Lowry, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Lauri Markkanen, and I guess Tristan Thompson, with shooters there and Lowry running the team, I think that's a potentially to make some noise.
Have they ever had any beef with Toronto? Have they ever, like, when they played in the playoffs, have they ever, like, had an argument on the floor or anything, any type of beef? I don't think so.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay,
not
because I'm just thinking about the players. I'm thinking about what you just said about Lowry. I can actually see, I get the feeling that I can really see Lowry playing with those boys.
Right.
And I think that they could have really good chemistry.
Exactly. I do too.
Instead of Kemba.
Right. Mike Lowry.
Get rid of him.
Mike Lowry.
And bring Lowry over there. I think that would be a pretty good trade right there.
I got your player, Ron. And this I say a little bit tongue-in-cheek. And I'm going to go back to the Red Auerbach school of thought. The old Celtic trick they used to.
Oh, shit.
Okay?
Oh, shit.
What the Celtics known for? Celtics known for getting them a good white boy. All right? Hey, they known for it, man. They go far and wide to find them. So who's the perfect white boy for Celtics? That would be Luka. That would be Luka.
Ain't going nowhere.
That would be Luka.
Wait a minute. You telling me they would trade for Luka? Who
they gonna get? Who they gonna give up? Tatum and Jaylen Brown?
The old Celtics, headed by the great Red Auerbach.
Oh,
they would find a way to get them a badass white boy. And Luka.
You can't do that no more.
You gotta give up the whole team.
They could get rid of. First of all, I think they need to split that duo up. That duo ain't going nowhere, in my opinion. Like the duo, just like the other duo over there in Portland ain't going nowhere. So that's just my opinion. They got to split that duo up. Now there was some talk this week that Luka is not happy. I heard it on one of the shows I listened to. Now, I don't know if that's just conjecture or made up or whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line is the old Celtic regime would find a way by hook or by crook to get them some Luka. That's just all I'm saying.
Especially crook.
As we know,
teams can't do what Auerbach was doing back in the 70s and 80s, though. When I saw some of the stuff he did,
all he used to do is con people. That's
right.
All he used to
when
do.
I saw what he did to get Bill Walton some cigar, I mean, they had the story on the 30 for 30, and what he did, oh man, that was highway robbery. You can't do that no more, man.
But that was a diminished Bill Walton. Okay.
No, I'm just saying. No, this was the number one pick when they drafted him.
The Celtics didn't draft the Walton.
Well, maybe it wasn't Bill Walton, but I know they wanted the number one.
Walton
pick.
Got drafted by the Portland.
Who was the player that Boston took number one and they already had a championship team?
Didn't they take Bird?
Maybe it was Bird. It might have been Larry Bird. But to get that pick, I don't remember the story, but it was like basically like they traded a cigar. I mean, it was so stupid how he got over and got that pick. And I'll actually look it up later. But back then there was no structure. I mean, it was Red Auerbach just knew what the hell he was doing, like Pat Riley back then. And yeah, he got over and how he did that, and I was just like, wow, like what happened? I don't remember what happened, but I remember it was crazy. And I was like, so when you mentioned him, I know exactly what you're talking about. But you can't do that this day and age. It's too much structure. The league won't allow it. You see, Chris Paul couldn't go to the Lakers.
That had nothing to do with that. That had to do with the fact that they didn't have ownership. I
know, but I'm just saying.
Stern stepped in and vetoed it. But there's plenty of dumb general managers out there. I mean, look, the Knicks have been dumb for about 20 years.
Mark Cuban ain't one of them.
Well, he ain't. What's his name? Been a coach. And he for the last almost 10 years, and he ain't made out of the first round. Not one time.
No, but I'm saying Cuban ain't gonna let Luka go without a fight.
Carlisle. So who's Mark Cuban? They got one lucky championship and they earned it. No doubt about it. They beat Miami that first year, but since then they really haven't done much.
Well, after Dirk leaves, you're rebuilding. I mean, he was there. That's like
they've been rebuilding for 10 years, cuz.
Right. Well, a little less than that, but yeah. About 7-8 years.
My next question. Do you think Deshaun Watson will be the starter quarterback for the Texans next year?
What you got, Guru? That's your black quarterback.
You ain't shit. No.
Okay. I ain't even gonna acknowledge that. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear that. All righty. Brooklyn's suffering without Kyrie. I'm just letting y'all know. I hope y'all watching. They suffering without Kyrie.
Yeah, but Harden's playing on one leg. I mean, Harden don't even got no sort of lift, or he can't even. He has no balance. He can't do nothing.
Well, he can draw fouls and get to the free throw line. He better put it on like he normally does. Go ahead, Czar.
Yeah, y'all ain't giving Watson no love. They done went to the Brooklyn game. Y'all want to answer that question? That's too much of a subject.
I just don't even want to talk. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate talking about him because I think he's such a great player.
Yeah.
And if the allegations are true, I'm just gonna hate it. I really am.
I'm gonna say he won't be the quarterback. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just a funny feeling he won't be.
Well, supposedly the NFL is choosing not to investigate until after the season. So if that's the case, he'll be there. And I think Houston won't trade him just to be Houston.
But then it's back to if that's the case, then it's back to the original, huh?
Doesn't he play for Houston?
Right. But what I'm saying is, if that's the case, then it's back to the original. I don't want to play for Houston. I'm not playing for Houston anymore.
Well, I know, but I don't think that he's willing to forego that money.
He might be humbled now. He might be humbled now to just be happy to be playing.
See, I believe before the allegations came out, he was willing to forego the money.
Right.
I believe that now that these allegations have come out, he can't afford to forego the money because he's going to need some legal fees to pay. Right. He's going to need to have some legal folks paid. Agreed. So he's going to need every dime because they're going to milk him. They're not going to charge him the average rate because he's a baller.
Right.
So and he's going to need the best. And
Rusty Harden don't work. Rusty Harden don't work pro bono either.
No. Thank you, Mr. Hargrove. You're right. So I just hate to talk about it because I so want this to be false. It's really bothering me. It's bothering me how the timing of it, how it all came out. It's almost like people, when things are going great, all your friends, in quotes, think everything you do is great. But as soon as you don't fall in line with what they want, they pick every little thing that you do that they could possibly pick and have something wrong with it then.
Right.
So if these allegations are true and it's 30-some women, there's no way in hell you can tell me that nobody in that organization knew about it beforehand.
Right.
But nothing happened. Nothing came out about it until he said, I want to leave.
Right. I agree with
that. Racist MFers, that's what they do. Soon as you get out of line, they find ways to destroy you.
Right.
So the whole story is ugly, and that's why I don't like to talk about it. But the question was, will he be quarterback at the beginning of the season next season? Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do?
Right.
We got till July, I guess, to see what they're going to do.
Right. That's true. All right. We have a couple more minutes. Let's get one more in there, Big Ron.
Do a team need a big three in the NBA to win a championship?
I'll go first. We talked about that previously. I say no. You have to have two, in my opinion. You got to have two stars. But if you have the proper coaching, management that puts the proper role players around those two stars, whether it's a point guard and a center, whether it's a 2 and a 3, usually, like Philadelphia did this year when they went and traded talent like Richardson for shooters. Richardson's a better player, but he didn't fit that team. So they got Seth Curry. Now we see dividends that's paying. If you have two stars with the supporting role, you don't need 3 superstars to win.
Okay.
I agree with Czar.
Good.
That's it. I agree. I don't think you necessarily have to have a big three superstars to win. And you definitely need a deep bench. If your bench is raggedy, I don't care how much those 3 stars exhaust themselves. If you got a raggedy bench, you're not winning the chip.
Okay.
Well, I don't think you're going to need it this year. I do see a trend next year, especially if Brooklyn doesn't win it, more so than if they do. And at this point, that doesn't look likely. But I feel that there will be some trades or some maneuvering going on that will allow, somebody like Lillard or another very good to great player, because that's the thing. When you say big three, Bosh wasn't a great player. He was a very good player. He wasn't a great player, but he was the perfect guy to come play with the 2 great players, because the only 2 real great players was LeBron and Dwayne Wade.
Right.
So when you say big three, even Brooklyn, obviously Durant, as much as I don't like him, he's great. Harden, he's great, but he's flawed, and Kyrie is a knucklehead. So, you got 2.5, in Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks. So, it kind of, so it's a little, I like to use this word, convoluted, but this year, I don't believe it's going to be a big three that wins it. And so we'll see. I mean, it's a good question. I think the league would probably prefer it not be, a trend that continues.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right. Well, looks like that's wraps up the show. Another great show. Sharon, tell the people where they can find you.
Well, yeah, this is a great show. We did miss our fearless leader, Dennis Holmes. I hope we made you proud, Dennis, today. You can find me here most Tuesdays. I try not to miss Tuesdays, but sometimes I do have to. You can also find me a lot of Tuesdays at 10 o'clock on Stay Tuned. But you can also find me on Fridays for the AFC North show with Sam Sports. Shout out to BJ Samuels. You can always find me as a moderator of the 2MW Sports 360 page. If you ever want to engage with me in a sports group, you can holler at me in there because it gets down in 2MW. Shout out to Trisha Joy. And you can also find me on my own podcast, which is Did You Hear What Chocolate Said? Did you hear what Chocolate said? And the only way you can hear what Chocolate said is if you actually go listen to my podcast, Did You Hear What Chocolate Said? So be on the lookout because I have a podcast coming up. It's going to be involving the NHL, the National Hockey League. Yes. Trust me, I've got some fascinating facts that's going to be talked about in this podcast. So you're not going to want to miss it. Please like and follow and subscribe. I'm on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and there's another one. I forgot the name of it, but you can find me on all those platforms to listen to Did You Hear What Chocolate Said? So thank you guys for having me here tonight. I had a good time with you guys. Thank you for taking it easy on me. Absolutely. I wasn't feeling well, so thanks for taking it easy on me.
Always.
Love doing this show with y'all. Love it.
Absolutely. What you got for him, Guru?
Well, Sharon took up all the damn time, but we love her.
Oh, you know what? No. I did not take up all the time.
I got a theme song for you. I'm gonna
get you.
You're gonna love this show. I'm gonna send you this song. But anyway, I'm just messing with you.
I'm gonna get you.
No, only thing is Sports Guru Live. Hopefully we'll be back. We'll be back on Saturday. With the podcast and the live show on Facebook. I want to start doing some more YouTube stuff. I see I got, you know, a little bit more people subscribing, so I got to get back to that. You know, obviously I've had, you know, DIF, Deaf and Family, so a lot of that has really kind of sidetracked me, and then, you know, issues with, you know, my mom. So, but you know, just want to say, you know, shout out to Dennis, shout out to Czar. Like I said, man, got much love for you, man. I got love for Ron. It's just amazing how, you know, we all have come together as like a little family. And even though Sharon took all the damn time, I love her.
You know
black, but too. Anyway, so go ahead. I'm done.
Well, I'll keep it short for me before Ron sends them off. Obviously, you catch me here on Talkie Is Tuesdays. Like Sharon said, we're part of Stay Tuned. I got some things in the works which you'll be hearing about shortly. But another great show with my fam, and we're gonna keep giving it to you every Tuesday. So just be on the lookout. And let them know, Ron.
You can find me here on Talk Your Ears. You can find me here on Flying High Podcast on YouTube on Saturday at 6 o'clock.
All right.
All right. Thank you to the fans. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye, y'all.
All right. See y'all.
Wait a minute. Damn it. I didn't want him to leave yet. Ron, you the host, so you got to end the show.